celebrating what we brought over here with us. All right, and it's important that we make that distinction because our children are still being misinformed about who we are and who we were. All right, and it's really important that we clarify this. Our children are still being told that slaves were brought from Africa, and it is imperative that we change that understanding. It is important, it is imperative that we understand that slaves were not brought from Africa. African people were kidnapped and enslaved over here. And when we celebrate Kwanzaa, we're making those kind of distinctions. It is imperative that we understand that the overwhelming majority of Africans who were brought from the continent of Africa, on that side of the water, we were free people.
Well, what about with traps that they captured all of the...
You know, I thought you were going to ask me another question, but that's a good question. That's a good question. Now, the question I thought she was going to ask, well, what were we doing on the other side of the water before then? We were farmers, fishermen, hunters, healers, musicians, mathematicians, architects, scientists, scribes, saints, sinners, teachers, artists, teachers, and we even had our share of thieves. See, the thing we got to be clear about, we don't have to make up stuff about being in Africa. We got more than enough good stuff to understand why we've been able to persevere. Because we did not come over here empty-headed or empty-handed. So in Yorubaland, which is one of the regions that we were in, we had agricultural celebrations. And before we could begin those celebrations, we had to call the people together, and the drum was used to call us together. So in Yorubaland, the drummers would start with this song. And the first part of the song that I sang, you don't have to worry about that part. That's just telling you that the song is about to begin. But Shenanyo is a traditional Yoruba song, and it means the time of celebration is about to begin. What are we celebrating in Kwanzaa? We're celebrating us. We're celebrating us and our ongoing connection with our ancestors. We're on the way up, and brother asked, where y'all from? We're from Africa. But we're from Africa because the Irish don't forget. The Italians don't forget. The Chinese don't forget. All right? Nobody else forgets, but we're told to forget because it's like nothing mattered over there. But everything that we've done over here comes out of what we brought with us here and here. Amos Wilson once said, he said, you know, if we had forgotten everything, we wouldn't even be able to walk. He says it's an impossibility for people to forget everything. And a couple of weeks or a couple of months on a boat didn't stop us from being. Do you know how long it took to make the color range that we see today? It took more than 20,000 years. The last ice age started about 60,000 years ago, and it lasted 20,000 years. That's why we have the range of color differentiation on the planet that we see today. But for the first more than 100,000 years on this planet, everybody was black. It's not just my opinion, it's a proven scientific fact. The original man comes from the land where the people are naturally black. The queen mother, there is no other, her hair is tightly curled. Understand that the African man is the father of the world. It's not just my opinion, it's a proven scientific fact. The original man comes from the land where the people are naturally black. The queen mother, there is no other, her hair is tightly curled. Understand that the African man is the father of the world. Everywhere you go on this planet, the first people you find there, for instance, and when you go to China, the Xia dynasty, black. When you go to Japan today, ask them about the Ainu people, little short black folks. When you go to Europe, ask them who the oldest bones there. They always have to, there's only one place they can go, Grimaldi, France. And in that, the bones were clearly Africoid. So why should we have any problems about looking back to who we are? And Kwanzaa is about that. It's about us reconnecting. And Brother's going to go through the 7 principles, but I wanted to initiate the beginning with a clear understanding of what it is that we're celebrating. We're celebrating us. We're celebrating our ancestors, because if our ancestors did not come from a proud foundation, a strong foundation, we would not have been able to persevere to the degree that we have. Now, we got a lot of dysfunctional behavior going on in our community, but that's in spite of, not because of who we are. And we need to be clear about that. Kwanzaa is one of those things that builds on the cultural foundation that we came with in here and here. Do you know that the percentage of Africans who were literate, who were kidnapped and brought over here, was higher amongst Africans than in Europe at the time that the invasion of Africa took place in the 1500s? Because for the first 100 years, when Europe invaded the Western Hemisphere, they were dealing with the indigenous folks over here. But the percentage of literate Africans, especially in the urban areas, Timbuktu, Gao, Djenné, where the universities took place, we had a much higher percentage of literacy in our communities than there was in Europe. So when we talk about scribes, it's important that we understand that writing is an imperative. We not only have the oldest oral tradition on this planet, we have the oldest literary tradition on this planet. Our children need to know that. Nunya pa Africa, Nunya pa Africa. Wow, wow.
I'm saying it wrong. Aqua. Cheerbu. And Arthur Toombs. All right, we want to welcome everybody, but we want to call up the person who started this, the person who made this possible is our own Senator Bill Perkins. Sojourner Truth Democratic.
Let's give it up for the librarians.
Welcome to the Harlem Library, and I'd like to thank Senator Bill Perkins for choosing us to have his Kwanzaa celebration here, and everyone, delegates also. Just like to let you guys know, you're welcome to come to the library. All programs are free, and sign up for a library card. Your children also. Everything the New York Public Library offers is free. And later on, our children's librarian, Ms. Zilbergel, will be having a little story time downstairs on the second floor. So please join her, okay? Thank you guys, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Donna. And I do have to mention some other fantastic people in the room. Where's Linda Guy? All right. Raphael Escaño. Kevin Russell. Where you at, Kevin? Come up, everybody. Don't be shy. Taj Berrien, come up. Come on, don't make me come get you. Come on, come up here. These are some of the staff members of Senator Perkins' office who, along with Keith Lilly and myself, stand behind the scenes. These people, they work hard, they work when you don't see them, and they work to make this happen for us, and we can make this a success every year. So I just want to recognize them for all that they do. Today was their day off, but they did not think it robbery to come here today and celebrate Kwanzaa with the community. So I just want to thank them.
One thing that, although we're celebrating Kwanzaa, it's very important that today we're not only celebrating Kwanzaa, but we're celebrating our children. It's been a tradition of this club, it's been a tradition of Senator Perkins, that give it up for the kids. We celebrate our children. And we're so happy that so many of them are out here today. When we have incidents like what happened this weekend with 2 young children being shot and killed in Newark, New Jersey. It was a tragedy. They were my daughter's age, 13 and 14. And so it's always enlightening when we have our kids here doing the right thing in our community. And And Senator Perkins has always been in the forefront of making sure that happens. We're so happy. We got so much for the kids to do today. Arts and crafts. They're going to do a parade, some storytelling. We're going to do some dancing. And we're going with Dr. McIntosh.
What are we going to do?
Yeah. So let's have fun. What are we doing next, Cordell?
People I want to recognize. We are, as Keith mentioned, doing some arts and crafts. So that's really special, and I know we pulled the kids away. They were already working on it. But you see these beautiful masks behind us. These are from Junkanoo. Who knows what Junkanoo is? Uh-oh. What is it? What is it? What is it?
It's a festival of costumes and colors.
And music.
And music.
Right.
Gil don't do that because she comes in.
That's good. She paid attention. It is a form of carnival. Anybody knows what carnival is? You know, carnival, Mardi Gras, all of these traditions come out of our African heritage. And we brought those traditions to many places where we found ourselves around the globe. And this particular tradition comes from a place called the Bahamas. Anybody know where that is? All right. So we have Beryl Edgecombe and Wendell Edgecombe. They are the president and co-president of the Bahamian Cultural Society, Bahamian American Cultural Society. And we're so happy to have, and she also doubles as the videographer. So.
Give it up for Beryl.
Beryl. So they bring this tradition to us for Kwanzaa and other times during the year as well when they're available, and we want you to take full advantage of it because y'all are going to be making things, and we're going to get to see what you make later.
I just want to say a couple of thank yous to some folks that contributed the food, the DJ Lee and his son DJ T. Give it up for them. Earthly Jew, she gave up some food. Rayvon Weaver gave up some food. We appreciate you. Miss Evans, Nate, everybody, thank you. Rayvon Cook.
But right now, we want the kids to start working on their masks. We want you to continue working on your projects. Okay, is everybody working on a project already? Okay, so whoever's not needs to start, and whoever started needs to finish. All right, so everybody who started already, go finish your project, and then we're gonna let the people who didn't start yet start after you, so that we can all be ready when it's time to do our parade.
American music now, but it stems from Africa. Some of it is great, like what you just heard, and some of it may not be so great, like what I heard before I came here. That's right? You don't want to hear this, but some of this music should not be played. Let me back up. I'm a little older than that. There were some things I couldn't see on TV because they were for adults only. Some music that's being played should not be heard by your children. I was coming here, I'm not going to recite the whole song, but the MF word was very much a part of that word. As the husband and wife were walking their beautiful little child, and that word kept pumping out, and they kept singing it, and I was like, wow. What happens when they start using it with you? Or around you? How would you feel? So we got to be a little bit sensitive to what they're hearing that they might wind up saying. Because they hear it with you, they figure, well, it must be okay. It must be like Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we get so hip to what's going on that we forget that we have children around us, and then we wind up teaching them to say stuff we don't necessarily want them to say. Like how many of you who are adults would like to hear your child say MF to you? Or around you, raise your hand. They shouldn't hear it around you, especially the music. The music today is like, it should be rated X in some way. We need to be conscious of that, especially since we're here celebrating our culture, celebrating our art. And I'm not censoring, I'm not anti, I'm not hating. I just know that I don't want my grandchildren around me with that language. And I don't want to be responsible for them using it. And then, you know, so that's all I want to say. The last thing I want to say is this. This club is called the Sojourner Truth Democratic Club. Say Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth. Now, Sojourner Truth, I don't know, I guess y'all talked about a little bit, but she was a sister from Africa who escaped from slavery. And like a bunch of sisters and brothers who went back and helped others gain their freedom. So this club is dedicated to the women in our culture, the women in our history that have stood up for all of us, even though under very, very difficult circumstances. Most of us, you know, have a mother or grandmother that we hold near and dear because of the kind of powerful impression that they've made on us, especially the brothers in the house, like me. So Sojourner Truth Democratic Club is a club, it's a political movement dedicated to the contributions that sisters and the model of liberation that the women in our community have exemplified for us. And that's a great tradition that some of us are still being privileged with you as our sisters, our mothers, our grandmothers, and in some cases our great-grandmothers to continue to provide that kind of tradition. In fact, but for y'all, most of us might not be what we are. I know that's how I am. That's how I got where I got. So let's make sure we don't let them hear the kind of music you don't want them singing to you.
Kofi was a great hunter. Such a great hunter that the king, soon the author of all of Mali, he asked for Kofi to be his own personal hunter. He said, Kofi, I want for you to be my personal hunter. And Kofi said, okay. The king asked, Kofi, I want for you to bring me back a lion. Kofi bring back 10 lions. The king asked, Kofi, I want for you to bring me back an elephant. Kofi bring back
10 elephants.
100 elephants. The king asked, Kofi, I want for you to bring me back a zebra. Kofi bring back 3,000 zebras. I tell you, this guy is great hunter. But you know, many times what goes up, do you know there came a time that Kofi did not even have the tools with which to hunt? At that time, he went to his brother Kwesi. He said, Kwesi, I need for you to make a loan for me so I get the tools I need to hunt. Kwesi said, okay, my brother, whatever you need. Once he had the tools, Kofi come back and say, okay, my brother, I pay you back right now. Kwesi said, no. I am a farmer. As you know, I'm very well off. You don't have to worry. When I need it, I will come to you. Okay. Kofi go back to hunt, Kwesi go back to farm. Remember what I say. What goes up Do you know there came a time when Kwesi did not even have the tools with which to farm? At that time, he went to Kofi and said, brother, now is the time for you to repay your debt. Kofi said, okay. He go high into the mountains. And he captured an eagle and a nest with 2 eggs. He brings them back to his brother. Kwesi said, what am I going to do with this? Kofi said, my brother, you are a farmer. How many farmers do you know that have an eagle and a nest with 2 eggs? People will pay you to see such things. Kwesi said, okay. He began to walk back home. But the eagle, which was used to being free, it broke away and flew away. Kwesi became very upset and went back and said, Kofi, you knew this eagle was used to being free. What am I going to do with this? Kofi said, my brother, don't worry. Go home and put a chicken on top of the nest. When the eggs hatch, the eagles will think that they are chickens. And people will pay you even more money to see eagles that think that they are chickens. Okay. Kwesi go home. He put a chicken on top of the nest. The next morning, one of the eggs had hatched. The first thing the young eagles see going around the yard are the chickens. And so the eagle tried to sound like the chickens, only he sounded because they don't have the voice. The next morning, the young eagle is very impressed. And so he tried to sound like this, only he sounded because they don't have the voice. But he continued to try. The other egg, it hatched. It is his younger brother. He sees his brother trying to be a chicken, trying to be a rooster, trying to be chicken, trying to be rooster. He decided the best thing for him to do is to keep his mouth shut. Many days passed. An elder eagle flew by and landed in a tree and called to the youngest one and said, hey, you are not a chicken. You're not a rooster. You are an eagle. You are meant to fly free. Fly? I've never heard of such a thing. How do you do this? Flap your wings. The young one began to flap his wings. And indeed he began to fly. And he flew up into the tree. And now he was very happy because he knew what he was meant to be. The elder said, come with me. I will teach you the ways of an eagle. The young one said, wait, my brother is still there. May I go get him, please? Surely. The young one flew back into the yard and said, brother, come with me. We are not chickens. We are not the roosters. We are eagles. We're meant to fly free. Fly? What madness is this? I've never heard such a thing. It is true. An elder has shown me. All we have to do, wait. Or do what? All we have to do is flap our wings. No. The things to consider. The farmer feeds us. Who will feed us when we are free? Brother, we will feed ourselves. There are other things to think about. There are foxes and wolves. Who will protect us when we are free? Brother, we will protect ourselves. No, go away before you get me into trouble. I'm afraid. Go. The young one flew back into the tree and told the elder what had happened. And the elder said, oh, you see, this is what happens when you do not know who you are. But you come with me. I will teach you the ways of an eagle. And so they began to fly. And they fly until they came to a desert. The young one began to be afraid. But the elder said, don't worry. When we get to the other side of this, you will have patience. And you will need patience in the ways of an eagle. And so they fly until they get to the other side. Soon they came to a great ocean that was even larger than the desert. And again the young one began to be afraid. But the elder said, don't worry. When we get to the other side of this, you will have courage. And you will need courage in the ways of an eagle. And so they fly until they get to the other side. Soon they came to a tall mountain. So tall it was lost in the clouds. And again the young one began to be concerned. But the elder said, no, don't worry. You see, when we get to the other side of this, you will have wisdom. And we must have wisdom in the ways of an eagle. And so they fly until they get to the other side. You know, I think that we are like these eagles. We need patience to accept the things that cannot be changed. We need courage to change the things that must be changed. And we must have wisdom in order to know the difference. If we have courage, patience, and wisdom steeped in a profound understanding of who we are as African people, then we will be like those eagles and always fly free, fly free, fly free. We are sons of the sun, daughters of the moon. Oceans and rivers reflect us. The wind is our voice, the breeze our whisper. Silence, even silence respects us. It is we who decided the day is divided into what's now understood as the hour. We built the Sphinx and pyramids as links to great ancestral power. We created mountains, the canyon's abyss. The falcon, our symbol of light, soars above so high in the clouds where even darkness is bright. We charted the movements of planets and stars, employed them as yearly planners, labeled beast, mighty and small, studied their every manner. We are the elephant's blare, the lion's roar that fills the forest with wonder. We are the cascading sound of the Great Lake Falls, known as a house of thunder. Count the sand of Sahara, the drops of the Nile, the savanna's every blade of grass. Only then will you see the greatness achieved by those of Africa's past. Count the sand of Sahara, the drops of the Nile, the savannas, each and every blade of grass. Only then will you see the greatness achieved by those of Africa's past. We are Vinda, Fulani, Hausa, Igbo, Wolof, Serer, Ga. We are Zulu, Manding, Ashanti, Dogon, Yoruba, Maasai, Twa. We are Vinda, Fulani, Hausa, Igbo, Wolof, Serer, Ga. We are Zulu, Manding, Ashanti, Dogon, Yoruba, Maasai, Twa. Nunyukwa African, Nunyukwa African. Todos negros en el mundo son africanos. Todos negros en el mundo son africanos. We are Africans. Asante sana.
Who heard what he said you have to have? Who can remember one thing you have to have? Courage. What else?
Patience.
Wisdom. What else?
Patience.
Courage, wisdom, and patience. All right, we want to give them another round of applause to our team of Linda, how long do we need?
Come on. Thank you.
Abarigani. Abarigani.
Moja.
As Brother Atiba mentioned earlier, Kwanzaa is a cultural celebration. In 1966, Dr. Malana Ran Karanga. In 1966, Dr. Malana Ran Karanga began the celebration of Kwanzaa. It is a cultural celebration. At the beginnings of this day, I mentioned that Senator Perkins is one of the individuals who personifies the spirit of umoja, unity. So we have to thank you for personifying that principle. What we're going to do is to go through the Nguzo Saba. As you know, Kwanzaa is a cultural celebration. When one celebrates Kwanzaa, there are certain things that are essential. First is the Kinara, which holds the 7 candles. 3 red, 1 black, and 3 green. There is the unity cup, from which libations are poured. Ordinarily, there would be corn, and corn represents the children, the young brothers and sisters who embrace tomorrow and hopefully will continue the celebration of our legacy. And of course, the fruit. Fruits of the harvest, fruits of our labor, fruits of our struggle. And perhaps most importantly, there is a mat, which is the foundation, the legacy. For without a legacy, a foundation upon which we can stand and build, there is no us. So, as we begin to go through the principles of the Nguzo Saba, Senator Perkins mentioned quickly earlier that the Sojourner Truth Democratic Club is an assembly of women whose prowess on which we stand. And so I share the words of Langston Hughes as we light the first candle. When he said, well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, eyes have been a-climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps because you find it kind of hard. Because I still going, honey. I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. With those words, we light the first candle, which is the black candle, which celebrates black people. Abarigani, the second day of Kwanzaa, is Kuti Shagalia. Can we say Kuti Shagalia?
Kuti Shagalia.
Kuti Shagalia, self-determination. To define ourselves, to name ourselves, to create for ourselves, to speak for ourselves, instead of being defined, named, created, and spoken for by others. Kuti Shagalia. From left to right. The third principle of Kwanzaa is Ujima. collective work and responsibility. And Councilman Jackson, Councilman Jackson, of course, Senator Perkins, Sister Cordell, Cleare, and all of the sisters of the Sojourner Truth Democratic Club, indeed everybody here, we personify the principle of Ujima, collective work and responsibility, which means that we work together to build and maintain our community together, and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to solve them together. The fourth principle is Ujima, cooperative economics, which means that we work together to build and maintain our own shops, our own banks, our own businesses, our own financial institutions, and to profit from them together. Ujima.
All the kids say Ujima.
The fifth principle of Kwanzaa is Nia, purpose, which means that we make our collective vocation the building and maintaining our community in order to restore our people to their former greatness. Nia.
Nia. Come on, everybody. Nia. Purpose.
The sixth principle of Kwanzaa is Kuumba, which means that we do whatever we can, whenever we can, to make our community and leave it more beautiful and beneficial than it was when we inherited it. Kuumba. Creativity.
Kuumba. That's what y'all did today. Kuumba.
And the final principle of Kwanzaa, principle number 7, is Imani, faith, which means that we have faith in our people, everybody here. We have faith in our parents, in our teachers, in our leaders, and above all, faith in the beauty, strength, and courage of our children. Imani, faith, and most importantly, we believe in the righteousness and the victory of our struggle. Imani, faith.
Faith.